Good day, everybody.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to episode 29 of the Good Day podcast, where Maxie and I talk about our adventures down under.
Woo woo!
And hopefully we sound a little better today because we got a new mic.
New mic. I'm praying it sounds better. You guys need to let us know.
Yeah,
Feedback,
people said
please.
that the other mic sounded good, but I just discovered that it was more of a speaker than a microphone. I don't know. This one should be better. It's actually like a proper thing. So hopefully it sounds good. And I mean, it sounds good on our end. So hopefully the audio in the end will sound better.
Yep, let us know.
Yes, we've had a good week. We've done a lot this week, but we got to catch you guys up on the cat situation.
He is still missing.
Yeah, he's still missing, but it's not like he's more of just like an outdoor cat now, because like we see him around the house. He comes almost every night to the house.
Yeah, he comes for his dinner.
But we've devised a little bit of a plan.
Devised. Is that a word?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So she has this porch attached to her bedroom on the other side of the house, connected to like the outdoor porch.
They call them verandas.
Veranda, or
Yeah,
like
it's
a
screened-in veranda.
Screen-in
Yeah.
porch. So she has furniture and tables and whatever in there.
So there's a litter box in there. Like usually the cats hang out over there.
Yeah, but they love us so much that they hang out in our room. But anyways, Corey would close the glass doors from her bedroom to the veranda, and then we would leave the outdoor screen door open onto the porch so that he can hop up on the porch like he normally does and then come eat his food inside
the house.
the screened-in veranda.
And then we wanted to try and, like, we would go out and look and see if he was in the house and then try and jump out and slam the door behind him so we'd trap him inside the house.
Yeah, we spent a long time watching, but I think he could see us. He has, like, night vision.
He's got, like, a sixth sense or something like that. Because the first time we did it, it worked really well. He was in the house, and then he kind of he was, like, inside.
And very flustered.
Yeah.
Because I set sound traps so that when he jumps on the table to eat his food, something falls.
Yeah.
And so
We heard something.
it worked.
But as I was leaving the door, he was already, like, jumping up onto the porch railing, and then I, like, lunged at him, and he just bolted out of there. And then I think that scared him for a couple days because we didn't see him, like, the next day. But more recently, we had a better plan. So before we propped the door open, we put, like, my shoe in the door hinge so that it, like, stayed open. This time, we put my shoe in between the door
To hold it open.
with the thought of having him knock the shoe out of the door. So he gets in, he knocks the shoe out of the door, and it shuts behind him, effectively trapping him in the house without us.
Because he is a bit too quick for us, even if we did run at the sound of the thing falling and try to shut the door behind him. He is definitely quicker than us because he's a cat and he doesn't want to get caught. So we were like, no, this door needs to slam shut behind him. We need to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. So that's our current plan. And last night, we were checking, like, regularly, like probably every once an hour or something like that. Not usually when we do it, we check every like 10 minutes or something. But we were checking once an hour, and I went out there right before we were going to sleep. We didn't really check for probably an hour and a half, and the food's all gone. The trap is not triggered.
So either he jumped over the shoe that was like hovering between the door, or he crawled under it, because it was placed at a really good height where he'd kind of hit it either way, but cats can jump pretty high and they're also nimble.
Yeah, so it's just we've been going back and forth trying to, like, I think tonight we're going to set it up. They only come at night. Well, I say they because a couple nights ago, I almost caught the wrong cat.
I didn't believe Corey because he was saying something about how Spud looked white, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so one time he came in, and Spud has white feet,
But he's black.
he's a fully black cat with white feet.
And I think a white tummy.
Yeah, and so what I saw was, sometimes you get caught off guard when you're, like, says, don't forget the refrigerator is outside. So whenever you're going outside to cook, you need to go to the refrigerator outside. You got to go. So one time I was just going to get food or something that was outside, and I got startled because I forgot that there could be a cat in there. And then out comes this white cat with black feet. And I saw it twice. The second time I got a better glimpse of it, but the first time I saw it, it was just like, oh my god, that looks like a weird opposite spud that is like, the colors are inverse. But the second time I saw it clear as day run out of the house. So if I was like a little bit quicker, we could have just got this lady a different cat.
And she's like 75, so maybe she wouldn't have realized.
Yeah, we got Spud back. Yeah, that's...
We're making jokes about sending her photos, holding this new cat, and being like, we got him!
Yeah, we got him back in. We are the saviors. We finally did it. But I think we're really close to getting him back in because, like, yesterday, like, even though it was a failed trap, it was still, like, a positive because hoping that it wasn't the white cat, it was Spud that came in. Because it's like, yeah, we tricked him a little bit into feeling comfortable at coming into the house, and then maybe we'll put the bowl of food a little bit further inside, and then eventually we'll catch him when he's all the way in.
Yeah, I think that was day 3 of us doing the door being held open with the shoe like that because he didn't come for like 2 nights.
Days, yeah, he didn't. The food was untouched.
Because he was so scared from the time that Corey did catch him inside, and he hopped out and flung himself off the porch.
Yeah, flung himself on the porch, off the porch. Didn't even land on his feet. Like
he was so flustered.
Yeah, so we definitely caught it. Like probably the first day we should have been a little bit. I don't know. We didn't know if this plan was going to work, but I think it is now. And he's a little bit on edge, and I think this is good because it's like easing him off because he needs to eat. So we'll see. We'll see. I think we're going to get him, and I really think we will in the next couple days.
I think so too. It's just so frustrating because I don't know. I feel like it's been a month that he's been gone, and it's a bad look.
It's a bad look. Definitely a bad look, but it is what it is.
But besides the white cat, we also almost caught something else.
Oh, yeah. We almost caught some possums.
Yep. We saw them literally at the fridge, right outside the door, crawling around.
Yeah. So there's like this house is like in the jungle. So there's all sorts of animals. There's wallabies that come up. There's these birds that come up to the house because she feeds them. So we're basically living in the jungle. We're outdoor wilderness people now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we always were, but...
And possums run across the tin roof.
Oh, the possums running across the tin roof sounds like there's an earthquake happening. But these possums were literally right outside the door.
And meanwhile, the wide open door was right next to them. It was very unsettling.
But we had to scare them off. They were pretty easy to scare off.
But they're creepy. Corey thinks they're cute,
actually. And they're different than the opossums, which are in the United States. The opossums...
yeah, just Google it, guys. Australian possum versus opossum.
Yeah.
Opossum.
They're kind of similar, but...
They're similar, but different.
Yeah, I feel like the opossum in the U.S. is more of a rat figure, and this is more of like a furry, like, marmot.
I almost would, like, describe it the opposite.
Really? Because these guys have fluffy tails. I don't know if...
well, I'll just have to Google opossums.
Yeah.
Anyways...
Yeah, but some other stuff we've been doing besides trying to catch this cat. It's taken up a lot of our brain waves.
We're gonna catch him.
Yes, we already caught him. We got him.
He's here.
Hopefully by the time you listen to this, we already have him.
Yes. Excellent. So we've been checking out more beaches. I think we may have done all of them now because we saw Florence Bay.
Yep.
Well, Corey saw it on his run, but then we went there after. And we realized that it's a great snorkeling opportunity here at this beach, but we didn't know that. So we might go back today and go snorkeling there.
Yeah.
There's like a reef, a big reef.
So we went together when?
It was like a week ago now.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they heard that, but nonetheless, I think we're going to go back. We went at dead low tide earlier, and we saw where the reef was, and we saw people snorkeling it. I'm not a big low tide snorkeler. I like a lot of space between. I don't like touching the coral or anything like that. Just because I feel like coral is like
it's
sharp, or like there's some like poisonous corals like fire coral. But I think we're gonna go at high tide and get a good snorkel in. So that'll be good. I think so. Out of all the beaches we've seen, there's Horseshoe Bay, then Balding Bay, then Radical Bay, then Florence Bay, then Arthur Bay, then Alma Beach, then Joffrey Bay, and Nelly Bay, and Picnic Bay. What is your favorite? And why?
I really love Balding Bay.
Because you're a nudist or because you like the way it looks?
Yeah, I like the edginess of that beach. No, mostly because it's gorgeous. It's bellissima. But I also really like Florence secretly. Well, I think I want to discover the reef there.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think Arthur Bay is a top tier bay. Most of these other ones you have to walk to, like at least a mile. But Arthur you could just drive right down to. So I think that's the best beach to just if you want to go have a beach day, and bring all your stuff down. There's a good snorkeling spot, Arthur Bay. But I have to agree, Balding Bay is the most beautiful beach, here by far. Balding and Radical. Both and it feels good because you have to walk there, you're isolated. It's not like a normal beach where there's you could just walk.
It's the reward at the end of the hike.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
My favorite part about every single one of these beaches is all the big granite rocks, and they're also different at all the beaches, and there's just so many of them piled up on each other, and they're massive. But my favorite part is you could go to one side of the beach and be like, oh yeah, this is the prettier side, I think. And then you sit there and have a beach day there, and then you go back to that beach and you end up sitting on the other side, and you're like, wait, this has a beautiful view of that really pretty side. Maybe I like sitting on this side better. It's just, there's so many beautiful angles of these beaches.
I know.
With their rocks.
The rocks here are incredible, and it's really cool. And we've seen all the beaches so far, so it's just an amazing place. And I'm so happy that we got this opportunity to come out here. And we actually have a potential opportunity to stay a week longer.
For another house sit job.
For another house sit job that starts right when this one ends. So we might end up doing that, and it's with a chocolate lab, which is, I would love that much
named
more than...
Bean.
Yeah, named Bean.
Hopefully we get it. My boss tagged me on Facebook. We're friends on Facebook now. She tagged me in a house sitting job for Magnetic Island, so she wants me to stay.
Yeah. And we had some friends come out and visit us. Friends. So we made some friends while we were in Townsville, and it was funny enough, it was terrible weather then.
Yes.
And they happened to come over when it was not the nicest weather here.
Yeah, so over 3 weeks went by without us seeing each other in person, and like Corey said, it was terrible weather in Townsville, and then beautiful weather on Magnetic Island for those 3 weeks in between, and then the first time we saw bad weather here was when they wanted to come visit.
Yeah, so they described the boat ride over as being nuts, because the sea was pretty rough. It was blowing incredibly hard, and it didn't let up for probably 4 days, so it was too bad that they had some bad weather. But it was really normally on this island, mornings are a little overcast, nice and cool, and then by 8 o'clock the sun comes out and it's just beautiful, 80 degrees, sunny, nice light breeze every day.
Yep.
And even if it could rain in the morning, and then it'll be 80 degrees in the day. So that's almost every single day. But these 4 days were overcast, cold, and just windy as.
And I feel bad because you come to Magnetic Island to see the beautiful beaches or hike to an even better beach, and you go snorkeling and you feed the fish, you feed the wildlife, whatever. Basically all outdoorsy ocean things. So it just was unfortunate that they were here paying for a hotel during these less great days, but we made the most of it.
Definitely. We got some good time at the beach. We went to Balding Bay with them.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was fun, and we got a little bit of sunshine, did a little bit of swimming, jumped in real quick, so
saw some more nudists with really even tans.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just so fascinating. They look like Bigfoot with a coat of fur from a distance because they're so tan and they have no tan lines.
Even tans.
It's just something you don't really see on a regular basis.
Yeah, but I will say they did get lucky in the koala department because it took us about a week to see our first koala, and we had to go to the Google Maps.
Oh yes, the universe made it up for the weather.
Yes, so we just went and got a bite to eat in Horseshoe Bay, and we were driving back to get our stuff to go to the beach. And so our friends' names are Giacomo and Charlotte. And all of a sudden, Charlotte points out the window and is like, oh my God, there's a koala. And this koala was walking across a bridge, like a human footpath bridge, like nodding in the trees, middle of the day. Super rare to see this. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's rare to see them on the ground in general.
Yeah, they're never on the ground.
And it was just on the pedestrian bridge.
Yes.
And he looked so confused. He was so cute.
That was absolutely adorable. Just seeing it, because like you had the best view of it because it's not, there's no any nature in the way. It's just literally walking on the path, and it was adorable. Its little walk was so funny. I've never seen them like walk like that. They just walk so weird.
Yeah, was he walking on his claws?
He was walking on his claws, and like if you can imagine, like all of his feet were pointed like inward. I think. Like,
yeah.
Just because like I think like that's how they grip the trees. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he climbed up a tree, and us and some other strangers did a photo shoot with him.
Yeah, and also some more koala experience was when we were heading down to Arthur Bay with them on the day that they were leaving. Charlotte again spots koalas in the trees right next to the road, and we pull off, and it's a mom and a baby sitting like eye level right next to the road, perfect views. So that was some incredible koala encounters, which was nice.
It was so cute. The mom was passed out, like she had the baby, she was hugging the tree branch, but the baby was in front of her hugging the tree branch too, and her head was just dropped downwards, passed out, and then the baby woke up and was interacting with all of us. It was so cute.
Yeah, it was good fun. I mean, we did get some. Those were some incredible, like, because you don't really see. It's hard to see koalas. Like, people would be like point some areas out to us, and you'd have to like really look to see them. I mean, you kind of see them better than I do, because I don't know. They sit in like the butts of the trees or like the crevices, so you kind of scan the tree and look at all like the points where the branches meet, and that's where they chill.
The cozy parts, you know?
Yeah, the cozy parts.
Yeah, I just look for like a big mass of darkness in a tree that probably wouldn't normally be there in a normal tree, and then that's usually a koala.
Yeah.
Or a cola, as Mai says. Yeah. A koala bear.
Yeah, and we saw, who did we talk to that gave us like a number of population of koala? Was it the fire department people?
Yeah.
And they were like, how many did they say? There's like 1,000 on this island or something like that?
I don't know.
500?
She said like they don't know how many there are.
Yeah, there could be like tens of thousands.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty rare to see, which is like, I thought...
Especially because most of this island is inaccessible.
Yeah. But to that point, I kind of want to go to the top.
We gotta get to the top.
So I found this website that is called Bushwalking Australians or something like that, or like Wandering Bushwalkers, and it's basically just these not trails that people made into real trails by only putting like small like markers on trees and stuff like that. And
sounds like your dump loop in Brantford.
Yeah, the white dot people.
Yeah.
But these guys just build like cairns or like have paths, and there are like about 6 routes to the top of this island. And I found this website, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. But then also this website led me to find out what an Australian stinging tree is, or a gimpy is the name of it.
A what?
A gimpy. Do you know what it is?
No, you started to tell me about it, but...
So basically it's the worst plant in the world. Like, the worst stinging plant in the world. It's almost like poison ivy, but instead of like oil, because like basically poison ivy is just like an oil that gets on your skin and it irritates it. This has like all barbs on the leaf. So even if you brush up against the leaf, all these like barbs break off into your arm and release poison into your arm. And it could last months. So it's like a poison ivy that lasts months and hurts. And a couple, like, it's on this island and in tropical North Queensland. So I'm not sure I want to go bushwalking with knowing that thing is out there.
Yeah, you and my mom in your poison ivy experiences are 2 people who should not.
I am free of poison ivy. I free myself of that.
I do not consent.
Yes, I do not consent. But poison ivy is annoying because it's like, oh, you didn't do a good job of, like, washing off the oil after you shower. So it's like...
It's preventable if you do a good wash.
Yeah, but this plant is like, you just brush up to a little bit, and it's like your whole arm is like inflamed in pain.
It's crazy that everyone warns you about like the snakes and whatever here, but they don't talk about the gimpy gimpy.
They don't talk about the gimpy gimpy.
This is Corey's biggest fear, evidently.
I'm more afraid of the gimpy gimpy than the snakes on this island, because I'm now like, I'm on the look for it, like when I'm running in the woods or just...
I definitely brushed up against some
every
stuff.
plant I brush up now, I'm like, oh my god, I'm done.
Nah, you're fine.
Well, I started watching a video on it on YouTube of one of those guys who, like, takes the plant or, like, gets bit by things. You know him? I think Ryder watches him a little bit.
Probably, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
That guy. And he took it, and I watched him get stung by it, and he's like, yeah, this is, like, the second worst thing I've ever felt in my life.
Oh, okay.
And I watched it before, because after he showed, like, a remedy to it. I didn't watch the remedy. I should watch the remedy.
Yeah, ease your mind. Nothing's as bad as they say it is. Like, even my boss was telling me about the stingers, or jellyfish, that everyone is so afraid of in Australia that they think they're, like, deadly oceans when it's stinger season. But she said if you're a healthy individual, like, you might just be in, like, intense pain for a little bit. Maybe you even want to go to, like, the doctor or the clinic to get some, like, steroid cream or something. But, like... You're not going to die. Like, people brainwash you into thinking that
probably
everything's much worse than it is.
Most of the stingers or jellyfish are just like the jellyfish in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Where it's like you get stung and like, oh, that sucks. And it's like a day where it sucks and then you get over it.
And my boss said that she swims in stinger season.
Every morning.
I don't know how often, but she said she often swims and... she does not wear a stinger suit, which is like a loose-fitting wetsuit where the poison like won't touch your skin.
Yeah.
She said she just goes in her regular bathing suit and just makes a bunch of waves so that they feel the vibration of a big person, and then they float away. And she goes early in the morning, so it's colder water because they like warm water. And she said she doesn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
It's just not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And you know what else is not that big of a deal?
What?
Sourdough.
Yes, Corey's been talking about this.
So, like, I get that sourdough is cool and you make your own yeast and it's like a self-fermenting thing where, like, it's just flour and water that you just keep adding flour, keep adding water to every single day. And it's cool that it grows on its own, yes, but we have packets of yeast that you just pour into water and then that allows the dough to rise. Like, why do we need to do this thing? Like, what's bad with just packeted yeast? Like, is that unhealthy or is like... And why does the bread have to be sour? Like, I don't necessarily like sour tasting bread.
I love it. I love it so much. I've always loved sourdough way before the trend.
Like,
I want it to taste sour.
I don't really get the hype. Like, I've made the sourdough. I don't get this sourdough, like, obsession people have where they, like, are dedicated to it. It literally, like, making a sourdough, I guess it takes a while just because you have to do 1 minute of work every day for a week. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's like 10 minutes of work, like, for a week. That's nothing. And you could just open up your little packet of yeast and pour that into water and add a little bit of sugar, and then that is the same.
Well, I think the whole point is that people are using healthier grains and they're not relying on these chemical-filled sliced breads from the grocery store.
So that,
and that people are excited that they can nourish their families and themselves by making simple bread and sourdough. I couldn't tell you what's better than sourdough versus yeast because I guess you still have to buy the grain and the flour or whatever.
Yeah, because you're still buying the same, like...
It's not like you're not buying yeast. It's like, oh, you're still going to the store for the ingredients, but...
Yeah, I think to make it useful, you have to buy, like, really high-grade premium flour and only use that to make your starter, and then only use high-grade premium flour to make your breads. Like, I also like making bread. Like, I think it's definitely better than going to the store and buying a loaf of bread. And it's probably cheaper too. But I made the loaf of sandwich bread out of yeast, and it was fantastic.
And it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's good. I like it.
You made 2 loaves.
Yeah.
What else did you make?
We made pizza crust.
Gluten-free.
Gluten-free pizza crust.
Well,
which,
he did. He said we.
yes, you made the pizzas.
Well, you made the crust.
Which I didn't think were going to be good, but ended up being pretty good.
Yeah, really good.
Like, the banana bread, I made a gluten-free banana bread. The best thing I've ever made, I think. It was phenomenal.
Was delicious.
Oh, yeah, and then I made Cinnabons.
And you made, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but a Cinnabon cake.
Yeah, I talked about it because I said I failed making gluten-free Cinnabons, so I just turned all that batter and threw it into a cake pan and baked it.
Was the Cinnabons you made gluten-free?
No, they were not gluten-free because I failed the gluten-free ones. I'm tired of working.
I think I don't have an allergy anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean,
are you itchy?
I kind of, but not terribly.
Maybe you're cured.
I think I might be. But those Cinnabons, let me just say, were so good. You're talking about the banana bread, but the Cinnabons were so good, and the frosting you put on it, or the icing.
Yeah, that was another highlight. I mean, baking is easy, guys. Just take some time to do it.
Corey's trying to get me fat. But speaking of not getting fat, we signed up for a race.
So we were last minute additions to this race. You actually kind of took the initiative and you're like, I want to do this. I kind of gave up on it, and it's a 16 kilometer, about 10-mile run around the island.
Or walk or hike, whatever you want to do.
Hike,
or
yeah.
all of the above. And yeah, I mean, I've never gone on a run that far, but so we got the tickets off someone else. And we arrived about 8 minutes before the start time. And that was fine. It was kind of a casual start time. They started a couple minutes late. And then people in the front were running, but I would say a lot of the people were.
They had us all get on the jetty, and everyone started on the jetty. And we were kind of in the middle of the pack. We're all right, let's just see how this goes. And they said 3, 2, 1, go. And everyone, the front starts jogging a little bit, but our group was just barely moving. So we're we kind of want to don't get stuck in this pack.
Well, first off, my normal walking speed is a lot faster than this. And I do like to speed walk, and that's a lot faster than this.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw, we started speed walking, getting ahead of some people. And then we saw the front of the pack was, running. So I was like, oh, you want to just... I think you were you want to jog? And I was like, yeah, let's just jog a little bit.
Yeah, I had a personal goal to do the first 4 miles, which were on sidewalk and street, to be a jog, and then I could just hike the 6 other miles.
Yeah.
But what did we end up doing?
So we ended up jogging a little bit, and then we got to some... Yeah, we jogged the first 4 miles and just kind of were oh, let's just stay with these people. We kind of had an idea. We were probably top 20 at this point.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of people in front of us.
Yeah, this was probably 250 to 300 people.
No, it was at least 500 people.
500, yeah. So
it was a completely sold out event. That's why we had to buy tickets off someone else.
Yeah, so we kind of... The race started and we were oh, let's go, let's jog. And then by the time we got back to the trails, we were all right, let's just walk these the trails because it's basically uphill, and then we can jog the downhill. So that's exactly what we did. We didn't really we got passed by one person at that time, and then the people behind us were catching up, and we're
because Corey's so fast at hiking up. I was basically running to keep up with him as he was hiking up.
Yeah, we were taking a really
we were going chill, but I mean, you're a fast uphill hiker.
We were trying to get a good workout in, basically,
yeah.
And
no complaints.
We still stopped and took pictures and
Yeah, we had the volunteers of the race take pictures of us at the viewpoints. We took our own selfies at the viewpoints.
We're having a good time, really.
Yeah.
And when we got to the downhill, we're Maxie was let's jog a little bit. Let's try and. And my mindset at that point, we were probably...
I'm a fast downhill runner.
Yeah. We were probably 4 miles from the finish, maybe 3 miles. Yeah, probably 3 miles from the finish when we started going downhill, right?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. So we eventually, and at that point, I was like, let's just not. I like the position we're in. We're probably top 20, something like that. That'd be awesome to finish top 20 in an event of 500 people. Let's just try and not have this group behind us pass us. And
He was right on my tail.
yeah. So
But Corey was much further ahead of me, so I was like allowing them to pass me, and they weren't doing it because they knew I was with Corey and they didn't want to go in between us. But they were still right on my tail.
Yeah, they were right on Maxie's tail, and as soon as downhill hit, we kind of created a little bit of a gap, and I was like, we don't have to catch the people in front of us, but if we do, that'd be nice. And we weren't really pushing. I mean,
It was casual.
It was a casual pace, and
Downhill's my superpower. Uphill is not.
it was good fun. And then eventually we get off the trail, back on the road, get some good pictures from the photographer. We find the koala.
Yeah, we stopped for fruit at the fruit stand.
Yeah, and then we're probably about 2 mile, no, not even a mile and a half from the finish line, and we're just having a grand old time. Like, we feel good. And then I casually asked one of the workers, like, and at that time on the downhill, we passed one of the girls that was in front of us.
Yeah.
So, because we passed her. And
I started to not feel so good on that home stretch because we had to, like,
go back on the road and double back a large section.
And, like, I already knew a huge uphill was coming and it was getting hotter in the day, and I have never run that far, but that's okay. So Corey asked the crossing guard when we were crossing the street.
It was probably 1.25 miles, yeah.
Yeah, and the guy was like, "Great job, guys!" And Corey said, "How many in front of us?" And he goes, 1.
Yeah.
And we could literally see the guy in front of us.
Yeah, he was maybe 200 to 300 yards in front of us, not far at all.
And so I just automatically knew I had to say, like, "Okay, Corey, go ahead." Because I physically don't think I had it in me to catch up to the guy. I was doing my best already. And I just wanted to defend my number 3 spot, you know? That's all
First
I cared
woman,
about.
yeah.
And first woman.
Yeah.
So Corey went ahead and... Yeah, and...
So, yeah, then I was like, okay, let's go. There's, like, one person in front of us. I've never, like, competed to be the top of a race before. This is awesome. And I was feeling really good because I thought we did a great job pacing ourselves. Like, we weren't killing it. We took it slow on the uphill, fast downhill. And I immediately caught him right at the start of the final hill. And I just, like, I could see that he was struggling a little bit. And so I just would cruise by him and then kind of just, like, sprinted up the hill. At, like, probably not a sprint is probably an exaggeration. Probably at, like, a 7-minute mile pace up the hill. But that just absolutely crushed his soul. And I think he was like, oh, dang, I'm done. I can't push like this anymore. Because when I was starting to go down the hill, I looked back and he wasn't even at the top, or he wasn't even near it.
Yeah, I had to go around this roundabout, and all the crossing guards were like, "Yeah, first girl, first girl." And first off, I have never been in that situation either. I was so excited. But anyways, when I got around the roundabout and I had to go up the hill at that point, I saw that Corey was in front of the guy. That was my first glimpse of Corey being in front of the guy, and I literally said out loud, "That's my husband." Very proud of Corey for that.
Yeah, and then so eventually then we had probably 3/4 of a mile left and pretty flat even to the finish. And yeah, the finish line was the most, like, lackluster finish, I thought.
They were still setting it up.
They were still setting it up, yeah, and I had, like, crossed the finish line, like, 3 people clapped, and they were like, "So what's your name?" And they're like, and I told them, and they're like, "Okay, good job." And then immediately they go into this T-shirt debacle, I'll call it. So essentially, we bought tickets from, like, 2 women. So I didn't really know what the lady was saying. She was like, "All right, you have a youth small, and you can't exchange it until the end if we have enough." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And she was also like, "You only get 1 T-shirt." And I was like, "Okay." And I'm like, "My wife is about to finish too. Does she get a T-shirt?" And she's like, "No, you only get 1 T-shirt." And I was like, "Well, there's 2 of us." And she's like, "Yeah, you get 1 and she gets 1. So she was just, like, giving me a hard time about the T-shirt. And I won the whole thing, Why you don't give me a medal or anything? You don't even give me a T-shirt the right size. What's going on?
Literally, so it's a small island. Everyone here knows everyone. I think like 3,000 people live here. And they all know each other. So they want it to be like a very family-oriented thing. And they made the slogan, it's not a race, it's an adventure. Because the company that runs it is called Destination Adventure.
Yeah.
So they're running with the adventure, saying it's not a race, it's an adventure. You can hike it, it's fine. And some families do it, whatever. And a lot of old people live here, so a lot of old people were also participating. But that's fine. Like, we do races back home, and I don't do the 5-mile Father's Day road race to win it.
Yeah, it's just
I'm still doing the race. I'm doing it to just do it for myself, you know? It's not like I'm offended that someone wins it.
And also, when you have a start line and a finish line, and everyone starts at the same time, someone's coming in first. Like,
yeah, and
no
they
matter
had
what.
the big regular
Finish line, like a big
blow-up finish line arch.
Yeah.
And they just didn't do the tracking chips or anything like that because they don't want to offend anyone who doesn't rank. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But, like, Corey deserved, like, more celebration than that. And I finished third as the first woman.
Third overall, which is phenomenal.
And, yeah.
And first woman.
I can't believe it. But the crossing guards gave me more praise than, like, the lady who orchestrated this whole event at the end of the race. And it's just such a strange... Like, concept. I think that they felt like they could not celebrate us. And it's fine, like, we don't need the celebration, but it just was so different than, like, any other race we've ever participated in.
Yeah, like...
They were, like, anti-celebrating you. It's fine. Like, I hope these listeners know that I'm not, like, seeking the celebration. It just was a very abnormal ending to a race. That's all I'm saying.
It was so weird. Like, there was no, like, I don't know, why would you not have, like, oh, here's a medal for first place? Like, that's crazy. Like,
and meanwhile, my boss is telling me that this has been going on for, like, 15 years, and people fly in from New Zealand and other nearby countries.
It's like a big deal, yeah.
And people come from all states of Australia to come participate in this event. Like, you're telling me it's not a race? Like, people travel here to do this?
And if, like, we want to, I don't want to, like, it's a race, like, if we're just going to pay to walk around the island, I could just do that any day of the week,
and
know?
You wouldn't need, like, a number. Or, like, she gave us the racing number.
Yeah, we had race numbers. We had
to register the night before. Or, like, show up to get our stuff the night before. Yeah, it's just bizarre.
Yeah, a bit odd, but we're, like, super thrilled with how we did. And just, like, it was amazing. Like, we'll probably remember this forever, that we literally won a race on this island in Australia, and I don't know, it was a ton of fun, and
it was so much fun.
Yeah, and just like people were running, people were racing it. There was runners, and like it's just ridiculous how they don't.
There were people racing it for sure, and that's normal.
Just give me a pair of socks or something for my efforts,
or a lanyard.
Yeah, exactly.
It was super fun though.
Yeah, that was an amazing thing. I'm super happy that you kind of were like the one saying, because I was like over it. I was like, I don't really want to do this. Like, but then you're like, no, let's do it. We got this lady selling tickets discounted, and
I felt called to participate in it because I know that I should be pushing myself to like do new things, and I have never done 16 kilometers at once, so that was a first.
Yeah, and it was a blast, and again, super happy we did it, and that was definitely a highlight of this week was winning that, and
then we went to Arthur Bay right after with Giacomo and Charlotte.
Yeah, and that's where we saw the little baby koala and the mama koala.
But we learned that we got Giacomo hooked on, he's from Italy by the way, and Charlotte's from England. We got him hooked on Below Deck.
Yes, Below Deck, best reality show in the world. Love it. But, yeah, you watch like 10 episodes or something in like the couple days that in between where we told him about it.
I love that. But he's
a chef, so he loved watching the like chefs cook in those crazy kitchens for those crazy guests.
Yes, and you guys know that Corey and I love Below Deck Sailing Yacht. And literally the main character of those season 2 through 4 is Gary King. And he followed me on Instagram. Well, he was doing like a question and answer on his Instagram, and I said follow me, and he did follow me.
Yeah, he's so funny, and I can't wait for the next. Hopefully, he's in the next season of Below Deck because they haven't released any information on it, so that's annoying. But
yeah, we're hoping that
we're
comes out
fans
soon.
of Gary King.
Love Gary King.
Got a great last name.
Yes. But yeah, all has been pretty normal here. The dog loves Corey because she spends all day with him.
Yes.
And Corey feeds her and throws the ball to her and does all the things. And he's just such a good dog dad, but he doesn't like her.
I'm not a fan of pit bulls or staffies.
Pit bulls.
I don't know.
That's how my mom and aunts pronounce pit bull.
Just like
Pit bull.
I can see the appeal in them. Like
They're cute.
when she smiles, I like, wow, that's a cute smile, and her mouth is open and it's funny looking. But there's never been a smellier dog that pulls like on the leash. It's like crazy, and literally every step I take in this house, like the dog is right by me. It's like there's, I don't know, just
She loves
constant.
him.
It's constant, and in the mornings, like we had to lock her in the little veranda that's off our room because every morning she would try and get on her bed and wake us up. But now we locked her in that room and it's been much better.
Yeah.
But still around like 5 to 6 a.m. she's like starts to cry and wants to just come in our bed and cuddle. I don't know when she's going to learn.
Well, this is all the house sits we've done thus far. Corey and I joke that the dogs love me more.
Yeah.
No offense, Corey.
They do.
And he just wanted one of these house sit dogs to love him more, and he finally got one, and he doesn't like her.
It's just I relate her to Gollum. Because there's a pity you have for Gollum and you have for this dog. I don't really hate this dog at all. It's just like I don't feel anything towards her. But I pity her because I'm like, I want to give her the amount of love that like her family gives her. It's just hard because she's so gross.
And then I spend a lot of the days at work. I mean, not that. It's part-time. But, so Corey spends more time with her. But I will say, if I could change the subject, that my bosses are obsessed with me.
They love you. It's crazy. Well, it's not crazy. You're easy to love.
Thank you. It's a married couple, and I often see the wife or work with her sometimes. And I rarely see the husband. And I kept telling Corey for the first, 2 weeks, I think she really, really likes me. I think, I'm an answer to her prayers because she's never had a young person work for her before. And she she's not very trusting. But, I think I'm, I'm just, the answer to what she needed because she needed more days off. She was doing too much as the owner. And I was telling Corey, I don't think that she really, is giving me the praise that I can kind of read in her face, which is fine. I don't need it. I was just sharing that with Corey. And then the husband comes in after me working there for, 2.5 weeks. And he's like, we want to adopt you. You can't book your flight home. Please just live here forever. And I barely know her husband. I met him just at the dog owner's going away party. Just once. So everything he's heard about me is through his wife. And so he was just praising me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was right. She does really like me, and she just doesn't say it as clearly as her husband is right now. And
I know,
so
that's funny.
I mean,
they're obsessed with you.
Yeah, and then he's come in twice more maybe or 3 times more, and he says the same thing. He's like, he wants me to stay. He wants me to come back every year to give them a month-long vacation. He is just so nice, and I know that this is all stemming from whatever she goes home and says about me, so it's really wonderful. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I don't know.
You need a raise.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a funny concept that I'm just this level 1 worker that also
just has been here for you've only been known for 2 weeks, 3, or no, not even 4 weeks now.
I have the key to the store. I open and close it. I deal with all the money.
You're the manager, basically.
Yeah, she called me a manager, which doesn't sound very level 1.
Yeah.
Anyways, yesterday after work, Corey and I went to the beach for a little bit of sunshine.
It's nice to just pop in. It was so, the weather wasn't great the last couple of days, so it was good to hop into the beach and jump in the ocean, do a little quick dip.
At Olma Bay. You went on a bike ride, too.
Yeah, I've been trying to explore some bikeable trails on this island, and there's, not really any, because all the trails are basically like stairs that they've made. There's no like real biking trails. I don't get why there's national parks but no like proper trails through them. Like there's probably only about 15 miles of trails on this island where there could be 60 miles of trails. Like I don't know, it just must be underdeveloped national parks and stuff. But yeah, we did a little bit of a bike yesterday, found some stuff, and also we finally got to watch some football. American football is back. I'm tired of this AFL, this rugby. Haven't watched any of it, but it was good to see a couple games. I thought I was never going to be able to watch any games here, but they just have ESPN, so I think there might be the Monday Night Football game on now. But I got to watch a Sunday night game. Lions win. Shout out Marshall. He's a big Lions fan.
At 10 a.m., right?
Oh, yeah. It was all like the Patriots played at 3 a.m. and then the afternoon games were like at 8 a.m. and 10 or like 4. I don't even know when. The times were ridiculous, but the Sunday night game was at 10 a.m., which was nice because I got to watch it.
Nice. Yeah.
Do you want to rank the animals?
Yeah, should we talk about how Oldie does his thing? His stuff?
His stuff, yeah. So the oldest cat, 17 years old. We call him Oldie. His real name is Squashy. Whenever you walk into a room, he just lets out a loud meow, which is very funny.
I think it's him greeting us.
Yeah.
And just having a conversation. He's like, meow. Yeah. Every time he sees you.
And so, I don't know how we learned this, but I think he was on the table one day.
No, because he comes up to us when we're sitting on the couch and stuff, and then he just bonks his head against our heads.
He gives you a little headbutt. It's so funny. Every time.
I think I'm going to make a video compilation of it. He will, if his head ends up near your head, he just bumps you with his head. I think it's like a love tap.
Yeah, it's just his show of affection.
It's so cute, actually, but it kind of hurts.
Mm-hmm.
His little skull is hard. But yeah, let's rank them.
All right, you want to go first? So here are the 4 or the 5 animals. The dog is Winnie. Oldie is the old cat. Then there's Tobeans, which is the fat cat. Lagatha, and then Spud is the missing cat.
And Lagatha and Torvi, that's her name.
Torvi.
The big secret. No, I think Corey knew that secretly in the last few days.
Yeah.
Tobeans is what we call her. They're sisters, Lagatha and Tobeans. Anyways, my favorite is Tobeansis because she's so fat and I love holding her. And then Squashy.
Oldie.
Then, yeah, that's Oldie. Then the Lagatha, then Winnie, then Spud because he left us.
Mm-hmm. I think I have a similar ranking, but the old cat and I have a little bit of a bond. I love the old cat. So Oldie's number 1, fat cat's number 2, sister's number 3, the cat that escaped is number 4, and Spud Winnie's number 5.
Savage.
No, I'm just kidding. Winnie's over Spud. Spud's dead to me.
But yeah, they all live in our room now, and the homeowner told us that they would live in her room and that we would never see some of them, and those are some of the cats that we see the most.
Exactly, yeah.
So they love us.
The cats love us, the dog loves us, and that's that. And when we have a little bit of a tree update. The tree is still standing.
I'm not participating in this update.
I'm still watering it. Maybe we just need to plant it here. It's not growing that well, but that's the update. It's still around, most likely dead, but I'm still watering it and trying to bring it back to life. Who says I can't?
Send it good vibes, guys.
Yeah, send it good vibes.
I think it's a little, I don't know, I haven't thought about it in weeks. Let's just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's it for this week, guys. Sorry to end on that sad, dead tree note.
It'll come back.
Yeah, hopefully it'll come back. Who knows? Maybe with some magic it will.
Just like the cat.
Yeah, the cat will come back. The tree will come back.
They're back.
Yeah,
They're back, baby.
I'll sacrifice the tree for the cat to come back.
No, I don't even care because he'll come back when his owner's back. This happened to other house sitters, and then he came back right when she came home.
Exactly, yeah.
So let's root for the tree.
Yeah, let's root for the tree.
Sorry if that's savage, but Anyways.
Well, thank you all for listening to this week's episode. Hopefully we sound better.
Love you guys.
We love you. Thanks for listening.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.